We have been taught in school that the source of the policy of 40 acres and a mule was Union General William T. Sherman's Special Field Order No. 15, issued on January 16, 1865. That account is half right. Sherman prescribed the 40 acres in that order, but not the mule. The mule would come later. But what many accounts leave out is that this idea for massive land redistribution actually was the result of a discussion that Sherman and Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton held 4 days before Sherman issued the order, with 20 leaders of the black community in Savannah, Georgia, where Sherman was headquartered following his famous March to the Sea. The meeting was unprecedented in American history. Today, we commonly use the phrase, 40 acres and a mule, but few of us have read the order itself. 3 of its parts are relevant here. Section 1 bears repeating in full. The islands from Charleston, south, the abandoned rice fields along the rivers for 30 miles back from the sea, and the country bordering the St. Johns River, Florida, are reserved and set apart for the settlement of the Negro, now made free by the acts of war and the proclamation of the President of the United States. Section 2 specifies that these new communities, moreover, would be governed entirely by black people themselves. On the islands and in the settlements hereafter to be established, no white person whatever, unless military officers and soldiers detailed for duty, will be permitted to reside, and the sole and exclusive management of affairs will be left to the freed people themselves. By the laws of war and orders of the President of the United States, the Negro is free and must be dealt with as such. Finally, Section 3 specifies the allocation of land. Each family shall have a plot of not more than 40 acres of tillable ground, and when it borders on some water channel, with not more than 800 feet waterfront, in the possession of which land the military authorities will afford them protection, until such time as they can protect themselves, or until Congress shall regulate their title. With this order, 400,000 acres of land, a strip of coastline stretching from Charleston, South Carolina, to the St. Johns River in Florida, including Georgia's Sea Islands and the mainland 30 miles in from the coast, as Barton Myers reports, would be redistributed to the newly freed slaves. The extent of this order and its larger implications are mind-boggling, actually. What became of the land that was promised? The response to the order was immediate. When the transcript of the meeting was reprinted in the black publication Christian Recorder, an editorial note intoned that, "From this it will be seen that the colored people down south are not so dumb as many suppose them to be," reflecting North-South, slave-free black class tensions that continued well into the modern civil rights movement. The effect throughout the South was electric, as Eric Foner explains. The freedmen hastened to take advantage of the order. Baptist minister Ulysses L. Houston, one of the group that had met with Sherman, led 1,000 blacks to Skidaway Island, Georgia, where they established a self-governing community with Houston as the black governor. And by June, 40,000 freedmen had been settled on 400,000 acres of Sherman land. By the way, Sherman later ordered that the army could lend the new settlers mules, hence the phrase, 40 acres and a mule. And what happened to this astonishingly visionary program, which would have fundamentally altered the course of American race relations? Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's successor and a sympathizer with the South, overturned the order in the fall of 1865 and, as Barton Myers sadly concludes, returned the land along the South Carolina, Georgia and Florida coasts to the planters who had originally owned it, to the very people who had declared war on the United States of America.